This video is about fostering. Often, on every so often, I have someone ask like how we decided and like different things about it, and I like full transparency. I'm in a stage of life right now where we're thinking about doing it again, um, and it's a tough choice. It's hard and overwhelming, and my necklaces are always tangled. Just ignore it. Um, I'm gonna keep looking at it if I don't say anything, but um, but yeah, I think one of the biggest things, so I'll start with one of the biggest things of like how and why I think we should do it, we as people, especially the body of Christ, Christians, believers, whatever term you want to use. Um, so yeah, I'll start with that, and then I'll talk about like some of the common things that come up of like reasons not to, um, and yeah, so reasons to do it. I think a lot of times as Christians we're like, oh, I need to pray about it, I need to think about it, I need to feel called, I need like, I don't say I'm not like teasing or like making light of those things. There's reality in it. But I think in a lot of ways, it's really easy for us to be like, oh, I'm waiting to be called to share the gospel. I'm waiting to be called to do this thing. Um, and I think I'm waiting for God to tell me to do it. And I think a lot of times we're waiting for like this audible voice or this sign that's not really how God speaks to us. Like He has told us a lot of what we're supposed to. I think too, like when you're waiting, looking for a spouse, like, oh, I need to, like, I need to date so I can figure out what I'm looking for. Like, no, you know what you're looking for and what you're not looking for a lot of the time. Um, so we don't really need to wait to be called to work with orphans and widows. We don't need to wait to be called to work with the foreigner. We don't need to wait to do something nice for our neighbor. Um, God has called us to those things and He's made it extremely clear. Um, like we are called to share the gospel. We are called to go to the nations. We are called to work with people. We are called to love others. We are called to love our neighbors when others don't. We are called to like, there are certain things we are called to, and we are called to those things. It's not, I'm not, you don't need to wait for a sign. You don't need to wait for someone to tell you to go do it. You don't need to wait for X, Y, Z as far as God wanting. Sorry, my nails are always dirty. We did nature class today. They're always dirty. Also, I'm super distracted right now. But we do not need to wait to be called. And so that's the first thing. Yeah, we have been called. Um, and I think too, another thing with specifically to Christians and people who follow Jesus, um, there's a lot of problems with the foster care system, right? There's a lot of problems. We believe in we're in a fallen world. We are broken people who desperately need Jesus, and we are stepping into a system created by broken people that desperately need Jesus, that are working to do things like in a lot of ways without Jesus. Um, Working with people who are broken and fallen, have made some serious mistakes, and whether they like know Jesus or not, people need Jesus, right? We're desperate sinners in a fallen, broken situation, working with desperate sinners in a fallen, broken situation, working with families who are broken. Anytime there is any biological parental loss, so anytime there's a family that does not have an intact mother, father, healthy family dynamic of some sort, it's a broken family. And that's like, it's not the way that it was intended to be. And so we're working with broken families, broken people, and it's like, yes, it's a broken system. Um, like we can't expect the darkness to be not broken, right? Like it's a hard situation. It's a hard thing. It's a hard reality. We are also a part of that sin and brokenness, even as Christians, right? So yes, it's a broken thing. It's a hard system. Um, and if you want to think of like, there's a book called Them Before Us that goes into a lot of detail about like how any situation outside of the biological mother and father of a child, of a child being in any other situation, that is hard. It's broken. It's not the way it was intended. And it's not a book that's like Christian blah blah blah. It's a book that goes into statistics. We know that families without biological fathers in the home do worse. We know we're stepping into this brokenness. And like one example is just when girls who grow up without their biological father in the home start their periods, I believe it's up to a year earlier than girls who grow up with their biological father in the home. I don't understand it. I don't know why, but that's true. So like the problems, just starting your period earlier means as a young girl, you are stepping into this world of a whole bunch of things. And like statistically, if you were born into a family of uh, a teen mom. Like, you are statistically more likely to be a teen mom. And the earlier you start having kids, statistically, the more likely you are to have more kids before you reach certain ages. And so there are these cycles. Yes, we're stepping into these broken cycles, these difficult cycles, these hard cycles, these challenges. And there's also things that are like brain developmentally, like trauma in the womb. Anytime a mother is like at risk of anything while she's pregnant, and even like this is true for adoption, like healthy, not foster care, just adoption. Like, a mom who's going to give up her baby she's experiencing trauma, and that baby has gone through that. And so like there are hard things. So absolutely, yes, it is hard. And there are reasons that we individuals might not be able to do it, maybe shouldn't do it. Like for me, we stopped the first time we did foster about 2 years. We had about 10 kids, 4 long-term and 6 respite, I believe. And one of those girls we had a couple times for long-term placements. And then one of the respites we had for kind of longer too. And so yeah, but that's about, without actually looking at numbers, that's about what we did. And we stopped because I had some serious health stuff come up. Like I had some very, very serious health things come up. And I was like, with our last boy, oh my goodness, I was constantly like, I had to apologize to him for overreacting or getting mad or upset or like something. It felt like every day. It was like, we had to stop because I had some health issues. And my doctor's like, you need to get rid of all the stress. And so then it took about 2 years for me to get healthy enough to be able to have kids. I'm able to have a biological kid. Long story. So anyways, so then it's been about, I don't know, 6 years since we fostered, 5 years. I don't know. I don't do math and numbers well. So like there are reasons not to do it. There absolutely are. And at that point too, I was only able to eat about 200 calories worth of food a day, and I was still throwing up. Like if I had one piece of pizza, my body had shut down. I have a stomach disorder. We now know was what was going on. But like I do change like still several pant sizes. Like I would bloat. Like people thought I was pregnant. My body was doing things that you should only do when you're pregnant. And that was just my stomach being mad at my body because of stress. So like, yes, there are reasons you need to physically stop, and getting back into it too. There's like, it's hard. I'm not denying that it's difficult. So, okay. So yes, we are all called to do it. Actually, I'm gonna stop this. This is the first video. We are all, as Christians, believers, we are all called to do it. I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna address some specific things that have come up in another video.